All right, so it's a brand new Sunday and a brand new month, day number 1 in the month of March 2026. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Well PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that happened here on the show this night. Indeed, we are going to be streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. We shall be getting interactive with you as usual. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is showing right on your screen, 0538 037353, 0538 037353. And when the time is ripe, and I pick signals from the production team, which I'll activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Please stay with us.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP, available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena.
You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately.
There you have it. Serena is not just a tool. It's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, We connect. You thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. FIBA is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week by way of local news. Please enjoy.
The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders is urging government to undertake an evidence-based review of recent transit enforcement measures following the Akanu-Dawenya Tema incident, warning that disproportionate responses could threaten Ghana's position as a preferred transit hub for Sahelian countries. In a press conference on Wednesday, February 25, GIFF clarified that all 18 trucks linked to the incident remained electronically visible on the official tracking system. The 6 trucks initially reported missing were later traced and physically verified. The Institute explained that route deviation alerts were triggered only after enforcement officers redirected the trucks to the Tema Transit Yard, which lies outside the declared corridor, an indication that the electronic monitoring system functioned as designed.
When customs gives you the chance to do the transit, they will tell you which route to use. So it will tell you maybe from Akanu, you come straight on the Flower Road through Dawenya, use the motorway. You cannot go any other route apart from that. And so from the tracking that was done, we realized that the only time there was a certain diversion was when at Dawenya these things had been, like, if I don't want to use this, seized or, brought to the Tema transit yard. And so then you will detect a certain diversion.
GIFF expressed concern over the formation of public narratives without prior stakeholder consultation, stressing the need for engagement to ensure accurate information and maintain industry confidence. The Institute noted that nearly half of cargo moving through Tema Port is destined for land-linked Sahelian countries, generating significant revenue through port charges, handling fees, and logistics services.
So the falsehood that is spread out there, they should stop it. This particular transaction is a legitimate transaction. The public should know. Ghana should know. We are faithful. Definitely, we have some bad notes. We cannot admit that we don't have bad notes. But if the bad notes are apprehended, they should deal with them. So that the general people who do the legitimate, there should be free trade, free flow.
While affirming that the tracking system worked effectively, GIFF acknowledged areas requiring reform, including escort policy consistency, transit bond adequacy, route dwell monitoring, and post-clearance reconciliation. The Institute is proposing targeted, intelligence-driven controls instead of broad restrictions, warning that hardened measures could divert cargo, reduce port utilization, and trigger reciprocal actions from neighboring transit corridors.
GIFF respectfully draws attention to a forward-looking diplomatic risk. In the West African transit ecosystem, corridor policies often attract reciprocal treatment. Should Ghana be perceived as tightening transit access in a broader manner, neighboring jurisdictions may 1. Introduce mirror administrative frictions, 2. Recalibrate corridor preferences away from Ghana, and then 3. Adjust bilateral transit cooperation dynamics.
GIFF has called on the Minister for Finance to commission an independent technical review of the incident, engage stakeholders, and reaffirm Ghana's commitment to secure and facilitate transit trade.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has witnessed a change in leadership as Brigadier General Glover Ashong Anan officially handed over authority to the new acting commissioner, Aaron Kanor. The ceremonial handover, held at the forecourt of the Customs headquarters in Accra, featured a rich display of military precision. In his remarks, Brigadier General Anan expressed gratitude to President Mahama and the Minister of Finance, Dr. Cassio Atuforsen, for entrusting him with the leadership of the division. He highlighted the division's performance despite a difficult fiscal climate, announcing revenue mobilization of approximately 51.4 billion Ghana cedi in the previous year, a 14% growth.
This ambitious goal underscores the indispensable role customs plays in Ghana's fiscal stability and national transformation. I have no doubt that with your characteristics, resilience, and determination, you will not only meet but exceed the target.
In his acceptance speech, Aaron Kanor pledged to lead with professionalism, ethics, and innovation. He extended appreciation to Brigadier General Anan, applauding his leadership and the achievements attained under his tenure. Aaron Kanor emphasized a leadership approach grounded in professionalism, innovation, and teamwork.
As I assume this new role, I recognize the immense responsibility that comes with leading an institution that plays a preeminent role in our country's economic development, security, and international trade. My staff and I will therefore provide a renewed spirit and direction to this great entity by ensuring that the tasks for which we have been employed are well executed.
He further promised to leverage technology to enhance operational efficiency, strengthen risk management systems, and foster collaboration with border communities as well as regional and international partners. Commissioner General of GRA, Anthony Kwesi Sarpong, cautioned officers against unethical conduct, stressing that corruption does not happen by mistake.
The goal of the division and the authority is our professional inheritance. This has been bequeathed to us from our forebears, and it is worth every effort to take and to reclaim it. So we would like to congratulate you on this occasion and to commit that as management of GRA together, we will work to ensure that we fulfill our mandate of raising revenue, which is a blood for developing the nation.
He reaffirmed the authority's commitments to cooperating fully with investigations and stated that officers implicated in unethical acts would not receive institutional protection.
The Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, has held its 5th annual general meeting to deliberate on the role of customs house agents under the 24-hour economic policy of government. The event brought together members of ACHAG across the country, key players in Ghana's trade and logistics industry, as well as the presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development, Honorable Gusitano. Addressing the gathering, the president of ACHAG, Akwesi Boateng, said the 24-hour economy demands that customs house agents invest in staffing, adopt shift systems, and build firms capable of delivering professional service excellence at any hour. He decried the unlicensed practices of customs agency, which he described as posing a serious threat to the profession.
The 24-hour economy also demands that we evolve as businesses. We must invest in staffing, adopt shift system, and build firms capable of delivering professional services excellent at any hour. The days of the single operator, office hours only practice must give way to structured, resilient enterprise. We must also be honest about our challenges. The unlicensed practice of customs agencies remains a serious threat to our profession and to the national revenue, and to all suspecting importers. We will continue to work with customs division and all relevant authorities to ensure that that practice is firmly curtailed.
There were solidarity messages from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Shippers Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, and the Ghana Standards Authority on the impact of the 24-hour operations in the port and shipping industry.
We have seen significant progress through the expansion works in both Tema and Takoradi ports, from MPS Terminal 3 and the strategic dredging of the port of Tema, to the recognition of Tema as a primary port of call for major Far East and West African services, among others, alongside the continued development of the Takoradi Port as a premier hub for oil and gas logistics. This demonstrates that Ghana is actively investing in the physical and operational capacity required for 24-hour trade.
Under a 24-hour economic framework, your role evolves beyond routine documentation and cargo clearance to one that demands continuous compliance, real-time responsiveness, and round-the-clock operational readiness. Ladies and gentlemen, digital trade facilitation is the backbone of a functional 24-hour economy.
As Ghana embraces the 24-hour economy, enhanced collaboration based on trust, transparency, mutual respect will be essential to optimize processes, leverage technology. Together with ACHAG, we can foster a trade environment that is efficient, secure, and beneficial to all partners in the supply chain.
In a 24-hour economy, standards become even more critical. When trade operates around the clock, compliance must also operate around the clock. The integrity of weighing devices, the conformity of imported goods, the safety of food and industrial products, and the authenticity of certification marks must all be assured without delay.
Presidential Advisor on the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development, Gusitano, issued a strong warning against individuals and groups he described as economic saboteurs who abuse Ghana customs transit, bonded warehouse and auction regimes for personal gain.
Modern port and customs systems must function as enablers of trade rather than as points of friction. Full digital trade facilitation, disciplined use of ICAMs and the Ghana single window, risk-based inspection regimes, and reduced physical interfaces are essential to achieving the 24-hour capability with regard to logistics and trade facilitation.
He charged the leadership of the Customs House Agents Ghana to demonstrate courage and professional discipline by sanctioning or expelling members found culpable of engaging in fraudulent practices. The Deputy Commissioner and Head of Suspense Regime at the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Nana Birago Owusu-Ansah, who represented the Acting Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, commended Customs House agents for their role in the 24-hour economy and urged them to exhibit integrity in all their dealings.
So first of all, I just want to reaffirm that all of us here do appreciate the work that the Customs House agents do. Customs cannot do it on their own. No one institution can do it on their own. And so you are highly commended and we do appreciate you a lot. However, your work is based on trust.
All right. My microphone was off, I've been told. Those were happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week by way of local stories. And we are zooming into our discussion proper tonight. And tonight we're taking a look at the transformative Seatime training program that has been introduced by the Ghana Maritime Authority, now under the leadership of our naval captain retired, Kamaldeen Ali, PhD. I would want to go through this so that we appreciate what we're going to be discussing tonight. Now, the Director General is going to tell us about a significant milestone that the Ghana Maritime Authority has struck, and that is the placement successfully of 3 Ghanaian cadets on their Seatime training program with the Kuwait Oil Tanker Company. Now, this development marks a turning point in the authority's strategic efforts to restore and expand Seatime opportunities for Ghanaian cadets after a period of critically low placements that threatened the career progression of aspiring seafarers. Now, upon assuming office, the DG identified the decline in Seatime berths as a major bottleneck to employment in Ghana's maritime industry. Now, through sustained diplomatic engagements and strategic negotiations with leading global shipping lines, the authority has begun reversing this trend. Now, the latest deployment builds on their earlier placements secured last year and signals the beginning of a broader long-term agenda to position Ghanaian seafarers competitively within the global shipping industry. Now, tonight, DG will also outline upcoming initiatives aimed at strengthening partnerships with international shipping companies, enhancing cadet readiness, and reinforcing Ghana's reputation as a reliable source of disciplined, highly skilled, maritime trained professionals. Now, the interview will highlight national pride, international collaboration, and a renewed vision to integrate Ghanaian maritime talent into the global workforce. And so I'm privileged and pleased to welcome to the studios Naval Captain Retired Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, Director General, Ghana Maritime Authority. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mona, for hosting me.
Absolutely.
Kennedy, I'm sure we've done this, in the past.
Absolutely, sure.
But this is particularly important.
Sure.
Let me use the opportunity to say Ramadan Kareem to people who are fasting. Yeah. We also know it's a Lent period. Sure. Lent is still ongoing, isn't it? Yes, also for those who are in Lent. Absolutely. So thank you for hosting me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And indeed, like you said, we are in the Ramadan season, and he's fasting, but he's hard to oblige us. We're deeply grateful and profoundly grateful, sir, for coming to the studios tonight.
For God and country.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So when you assumed office at the Ghana Maritime Authority, Seatime opportunities was described as being at an all-time low. What were the immediate steps you took to remedy this particular situation, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. And let me put a few things in context. Yes. First and foremost, as a Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority, I'm exceedingly grateful for having that responsibility reposed on me by His Excellency the President.
Right.
And I said it's not on generic grounds, but also because only 2-3 weeks ago, I had the opportunity of briefing the President on some of the things that the board and management of the authority are achieving.
I read that on your wall.
Yes, and on the particular issue of seafarers, the president was very encouraging and very interested in seeing that we are able to boost that. And when the president is very interested in something, apart from appointing you to the position, it also encourages you to achieve that task and that deliverable. And secondly, what we're speaking of here is also a collective effort. There is a ministry under which we work, the Ministry of Transport.
Absolutely.
But there's also a board that is very much focused on making sure that they help management deliver. At management level, you have broad number of stakeholders and officers, and at staff level, we've so far been working with very bright staff members who are making us able to see things, some of which you wouldn't ordinarily see through research and input. So that is very, very refreshing.
Absolutely.
Having said that, yes, I think maybe if we can put a few things in context.
Yes, please.
So that our listeners can understand.
Absolutely.
The global community is anchored on shipping. There is no doubt about that. Yeah. Without shipping, nothing happens in the global community. So that is extremely important. And what that means is that it is just not about goods, but it is also about all manner of opportunities along the shipping value chain.
Absolutely.
From all the way from construction of ship, to manning of ship, to ship insurance, to ship businesses, ship mortgages, to the crewing of ships, to everything. There's a whole spectrum of what I call the value chain, capture that is available. Yeah. And one such is what we call the global seafaring industry. As we speak, we are almost nearing something close to 2 million, something about 1.9 million seafarers across the world. And this is very significant. Of this number, the number is fairly distributed between officers and ratings. So of the almost 1.9 million seafarers, it's fairly distributed between officers and ratings. For those of us who are not into the maritime industry, you are talking about different class of workers.
Yes.
So you can just think about management and staff as the most basic
officers,
way.
Management, ratings, staff.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So you have the officers, being at the level of the management. You can compare them to a management and those who lead. And then you talk about the staff as being the rating. So that is a fair distribution.
Like 50-50.
Yes, a fair distribution. Unfortunately, the geographical distribution of this is not that fair. 50% of the entire seafaring industry is still Asian.
Yes.
So what it means is that close to about 900,000 seafarers or 950,000 seafarers and edging to about 1 million are from Asia. 33% are from Europe, 9% from Americas, and Africa, we are as low as about 4 to 5% or 5 to 4%. 4 to 5%, that is extremely low. Traditionally, we pride ourselves in this country as a seafaring nation. Yet when you come to the African context and you see our performance, I'll mention two words. Although I am exceedingly proud of the seafarers, I am semi-proud of our collective performance as a country. Because we rank about fifth. About fifth, you are now having Nigeria somewhere sitting at the top. You have countries such like Sierra Leone, Morocco, Egypt, that have all bypassed us.
In terms of the placement of seafarers?
In terms of numbers of seafarers generally. Yes, so just we are seafarers generally. So as a country, we perhaps have still not done more than 5,000 seafarers. And that is why I said I'm very much proud of the seafarers, both ratings and officers, but not exceedingly proud of our collective performance. Yes. If you track back and you realize that we were one of the best and seafaring nations in Africa, having established the Nautical College somewhere around 1958 and run the Black Star Line. And if you look at the sterling performance of Ghanaian seafarers, especially captains, both male and female, over the period, over the years, then you wouldn't be too much, you'll be too much proud of the seafarers, but you wouldn't be proud of how much we have performed. In other words, as a country, we ought to have increased our seafaring population than what we have now. So, tracking back, so as a country, we are doing somewhere around 5,000 seafarers, and I think that that is not something that is good enough. In my view, with the measures and what we are seeing, we probably will do not less than, we'll do something close to 500 seafarers this year, and in the years coming, we'll perhaps be doing about 1,000 and more, and pushing it. And this is particularly also because there is a global opportunity. There's a global opportunity. As we speak, currently there is close to about 27 to 30,000 seafarers that are needed just now. And this number is supposed to increase by the close of the year to about 90,000.
Wow.
So that is...
as a demand?
That's the demand.
Wow.
That's the demand as we speak. So that is quite a lot. And if we look at dynamics such as the fact that no matter what it is, there are shrinking populations in other parts of the world, then it should tell us that the African youth that is growing big and busting and becoming very educated and sophisticated should be in the forefront. And within the African context, you cannot take Ghana away. We are very well educated people. We are very smart people, and for that matter, we have a leg in there.
Absolutely.
So it is within this context that once we assumed office, we started looking very closely at seafaring, at both ratings and cadets, and trying to see how we increase the opportunities. But one thing that always stands the way between somebody who has trained as a cadet or as a rating and getting an employment and being out there is what we call the Seatime. So here is it. The good thing about the maritime industry is that we have the opportunity to produce jobs for Ghanaians. And these jobs are not limited by boundary in terms of geographical location. They may be limited by barriers. So the barriers is what we want to overcome. Well, there are no boundaries because the maritime industry is global. It is competitive. So we should be able, in principle, be able to say that, hey, we are having 100,000 Ghanaian seafarers outside there, which means that 100,000 Ghanaian youth or more are working outside there. This is what Bangladesh can say. This is what India can say. This is what Philippines would definitely say as a leading shipping nation, seafaring nation, and this is what you should be aiming at. But what stands the way is what I call birth. And this is particularly the case for cadets.
Right.
Cadets will need a much longer sea time in order to be able to qualify. For our lay people who can't understand, we are just talking about internship. We are talking about practical training.
Yes.
The cadet has spent about 4 years of education at the Regional Maritime University, now potentially at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And the cadet is like any other graduate who have spent his time in his education. The cadet is also somebody who has gone through an education just not like any other graduate, but in a regimented focus form, and ready and looking up to being the future captain of a ship.
Yes.
A million, millions of dollars platform at sea. Just like pilots are very proud to be what they are. Some will be deck officers, for them are deck cadets. Some will be engineer cadets, and increasingly now some will be electrotechnical cadets. So deck will normally be the captains, the engineers, very important, take control of the engineering, and ships are becoming very, very automated now. And for that matter, the electrical dimension is increasing. So these are the cadets. However, or whichever be the three classes of cadets, whether deck, engine, ETO, they will need sea time. They will need a practical experience. And this is something that is you can't compromise with. Yes, you can't compromise on that. And you are looking at a sea time of about 1 year minimum. This will prepare them, give them the competence, the practical experience for them to come back to regional maritime, Ghana Maritime Authority to sit for their requisite certification that will then make them a red cake or a hot cake, ready to be employed in the global market. So getting this sea time has been a problem. It has been a problem because ships and ship companies will have to calculate and come to a conclusion that, are we going to provide this sea time for cadets? A number of factors then dried up our sea placement opportunities, sea time placement opportunities. And taking office, we had to work to see how we reverse this. I would think that we have been a very good regulator as an organization, the organization that I proudly lead now, and I'm proud of that, of all the staff and everybody. But I don't think we have been excellent promoters and developers. So, and I think this is the cultural change that we are seeing now. That rather than regulate and just also leave it for the cadets and the seafarer placement recruitment agencies to handle it, we are now taking a step forward and we say we are here with you. We are searching for the opportunities alongside. Because the seafarer recruitment and placement agency will be sitting here in Ghana, or of course, even also making contacts, looking for opportunities to place cadets. But cadets are both an opportunity and a burden. You are taking somebody to be on board a limited space of a ship that is supposed to take 28 staff, and you want 1 or 2 people to be there to do that job, at that time are not executing to the job to the fullest. So it's a sacrifice. So when the seafarer placement agencies are pushing for this and not getting it, it is worth it to have the minister's encouragement, to have a board chair encouragement, and to have the DG contacting shipping agencies, establishing that rapport, knocking at their doors and opening the windows. So this is the change that we have brought in. Significantly, that we are no longer sitting down to regulate, we are taking a step forward to say that we care for these cadets. We want to make sure that they are out there. For that matter, the investment, the time, the ambition that they have will not go wasted. And for that matter, we are engaging the shipping companies. So we started doing that last year, as we explained. And by the close of last year, we had a number of, a couple of placements for cadets. And this year, we've gone back to 8, and then we are having the placements coming in. It is not by any way going to be that easy. There's still a lot to do. We still have a backlog of cadets that are waiting for such opportunities. Only last year or this year, we had an intake of a huge number of cadets at the Regional Maritime University. Females alone were about 100, a significant global achievement. So all these are young people with ambition, and they are all in the queue that we have to now make sure that we keep on pushing and looking for opportunities for them.
Absolutely. So in terms of the placement, what were some of the significant obstacles that you encountered whilst you were trying to, establish the rapport with these global shipping giants and get a placement? What were some of the challenges that came up?
So some of the challenges, I will say, were just institutional. They were just institutional because we didn't meet a good culture already, an ecosystem that exists already in the authority that we could leverage on, where there's already a template of working with, and going around or going about with these shipping companies.
Right.
So you have to build something from the scratch and then to work with. The second, although, of course, that doesn't mean that the authority doesn't know these shipping agencies. We know them, we have records of them. We've been working with them, especially at the technical and regulatory aspect, but not on the language of we are here with you to do business. And for that matter, we want you to promote. So that is the point I'm trying to emphasize. So and to leverage on. So the second thing is that, admittedly, we train very well our cadets, but we are very less on what we call the practical, at least the initial practical training. If you take some of the countries in Asia and other places, their training institutions or maritime administration would have a traineeship.
Yes.
So they would have had, in the course of their career, some practical training on board ships.
Yes.
This is not really what it is to make them fully prepared for employment, but they would have had that career.
Yes.
It's almost like when you are during your education, you take time off to be able to have internships.
Yes.
So they would have had a traineeship, and the traineeship would have given them some level of training already.
Absolutely.
So it means that Asian cadet or that cadet from Philippines will have this edge over a Ghanaian cadet. The second thing is that we are a little bit down on simulators.
Right.
So yeah, modern ships now, you can't train on every ship or have the experience of every ship.
Yes.
So technology has allowed for simulators and simulation for you to almost be in a virtual ship and to be trained.
Yes.
So this is one area. That also, and because of that, there is that, if you want, a slight dip also on the challenge side. Yes. So for the Ghanaian seafarer. And for the Ghanaian cadet.
Yes.
And I think, but that is beginning to change now in the Ghanaian context.
Yes.
So these are some of the things that from the word go will be, taxing the mind of a shipping placement agent, a shipping company.
Yes.
That should we choose the Ghanaian seafarer, there are positive. The positive thing is that when we engage the industry, and tell them what are the problems and what are the positives.
Yes.
They told us the problems, but they also told us the positive. They told us the positive that they believed in the intellectual training of a Ghanaian cadet.
Absolutely.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
Although we say that we are very academic and less practical, the academics has got an advantage because shipping is also becoming sophisticated.
Yes.
So you want to see somebody who is just not practical, but who is also intellectually grown to be able to manage the sophistication. The second positive is the discipline.
Yeah.
Our cadetship is very good. Kudos to the Regional Maritime University, but also the Ghana Navy that supply, trainers and people to train the cadets. So the regimentality is there, and it makes our cadet discipline.
Yes.
So it means now we had to tell the industry that, look more at what we have. We believe that you can cure this.
Yes.
We believe that the Ghanaian cadet will come on board, not the same thing as his counterpart.
Right.
But we believe that in a month or two, they would have paired up. And for that time, or from that time, the Ghanaian cadet become an asset, much like his other competitor, or even a greater asset.
Right.
But also the assurance that we are there, that the Ghana Maritime Authority is there and not distant.
Yes.
Because it's an investment they are making.
Right.
They are making an investment into the future. They are putting this cadet on board a ship to give the cadet an opportunity and looking for certain things. One, whenever this cadet is ready, will the Ghana Maritime Authority be readily available for communication, for them to bring the cadet back, or will we have another system, and I'll come to that for ratings, for example, where we will quickly make sure that the cadet takes his COC and join his ship somewhere. Because if I'm investing in this as a shipping company, I will not want a situation where when I need a cadet back now to employ at either at level 3 or level 4, it is going to take another 2 or 3 months. And we are going to be faced with administrative bottlenecks. And we will have no way of speaking directly. Hitherto, they would have been speaking to us through the Seafarer replacement agencies. Now they can use the dual channels. They can speak to us directly, but they can also speak to us through the agencies. And that is a big assurance for somebody who is investing on a future pilot, you know, a future captain, to be sure that when I put in my investment, I can have somebody to talk to make sure that my investments are guaranteed, and that captain is coming back, or that engineer is coming back, or that ETO officer is coming back to perform the task that they are supposed to perform.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking aloud whether there wouldn't be any issues of conflict of interest. For instance, the Ghana Maritime Authority is supposed to ensure that all vessels coming into the country, you know, are in top shape, they are seaworthy and all that. Now, you have gone to seek favors from these giants, and they are carrying your people. And so, won't it be a case that maybe you detect or find something wrong with one of them and say, oh, let's overlook because they are helping us? Won't such situations arise?
Scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Exactly.
No, not really. Not really. Our regulatory systems remain very robust, and these are very international standards. But we will continue to enforce them. We enforce them at the highest level of international standards. You would have seen that last year, by the end of last year, we were adjudged as the best throughout the whole of the West African sub-region in terms of the quality of our inspections, not the quantity, but quality. And we won that from the Abuja MOU.
Congratulations,
so
absolutely.
Yes, which is something credible.
That's huge.
I give it to the post-state control officers that we have working in Tema and Takrady and able to give us this success. So we'll continue. But also for us to even say, as a matter of fact, that it is even perhaps the case that some of these ships may never even come to a Ghanaian port. Yes, so it is not that they will naturally come to a good number may never even come to Ghanaian port or may come once in a while. Because we are looking at a global market. There are Ghanaian seafarers who perhaps would have had their career for 5 years without ever calling on a Ghanaian port. So, and for that matter, that their ship may never come to a Ghanaian port.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's really not going to be a conflict of interest.
Right. Okay, Kuwait Oil Tanker Company. Tell us, how significant is this partnership with this particular company? It's a big one.
Yes. Yeah, this partnership is very, very good. Is very significant. We all know what Kuwait is when it comes to oil trade.
Exactly.
And for that matter, they have a fleet of ships across the world.
Yes.
And these are huge fleet also in terms of their size, in terms of their capacity.
Yes.
But also fleet that are very modern and significantly increasing.
Yes.
Yeah, so to have broached that kind of relationship with them is very significant. We did that with a Saudi one earlier in December, which is also very, 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 very significant. It is almost like looking for an employee, and once you are able to find that this is of quality, because you see, one single Ghanaian cadet represents the future of all the cadets and the industry. Well, you are looking for somebody to employ of a certain quality. So once you are able to place them and you are able to get that quality from them, you will always go back because you need them anyway. So they will provide that future opportunities, and that's why it's significant. For a shipping company, that is not like a one ship or two ship, but multi-fleet, to have that opportunity of placing trade. We shouldn't be looking at the number 3. We should be looking at the fact that this can come in multiples.
Absolutely.
Because once this 3 have been able to show their mark, they will always say that, okay, we're looking back and coming back to the Ghanaian cadets or cadets of the Regional Maritime University, and we'll give them more sea time.
All right, so let me find out from you, will the cadets, particularly the latest 3, would they be on the vessel only for training purposes, only for gaining the practical experience, or they'll be earning something alongside, understudying in the vessels?
Okay, you have actually hit on a very important subject, and which is one of the leverages that some countries have also used.
Right.
And as part of our future Seafarer development program, all these are coming. So let me say that what we are talking about now and the milestones we are making are more like experimenting or implementing the Seafarer development program.
Right.
But the program itself is being fit together.
Right.
And sometime by the middle of the next year, hopefully, His Excellency the President will have the opportunity of launching that. But we are almost like testing and funneling out and using the plan or the strategy already and getting success and then fine-tuning it so that by the time it is launched by His Excellency the President, we will have it in a full proof form.
Right.
But you hit on a point because that is one of the things that whilst they are on board, they are paid stipend.
Yes.
They are paid stipend.
Okay.
Yes, so stipend, it depends on the ship. Some could be $500 a month, some could be $1,000 a month, or in between that. So
Right.
this is what is paid stipend.
Right.
So it is also possible that in future, depending on how we see our Seafarer development plan going, that the Ghana Maritime Authority may, with the board approval and other policy approvals, be looking at how we support this aspect.
Right.
Because we care for the Ghanaian seafarer. Because let's look at it practically. For a year of $500, that could just be about $6,000.
Yes.
When that Ghanaian seafarer goes through and gets a job, his starting salary may be about $4,000.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to have it for the rest of his career.
Life, yeah, sure.
It could even be something that he may pay back
Yeah.
in his first 2-3 salaries,
Right.
or in a couple of salaries he will pay back. So we would actually be looking for a number of ingenious ways of doing that. But the question is answered that normally they are paid stipend,
Right.
and the stipend is also part of what may make a decision to a shipping company as to whether, although not too significant, I believe that the quality they are looking out for is more of the driving factor.
Right.
The stipend is less significant.
Absolutely. Awesome. This is our report here on Metro TV, and tonight we are taking a look at the Transformative Seatime training program of the Ghana Maritime Authority. That is a way of opening up employment opportunities for Ghanaian seafarers, both officers and indeed cadets. But this particular focus is on the cadets. And just last week, the authority was able to sign off about 3 cadets to one of the big shipping giants in the world. And so that's what we're discussing tonight, and what this particular portends for the maritime industry and the seafarers of our country going forward. And with us in the studios is Naval Captain retired Kamaldeen Ali, PhD, who is the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, running us through and breaking the ice, and then also helping us to, as it were, unravel what this whole, or decode what this whole transformative Seatime, training program for the cadets is about. And so we're going to go for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show, and that's when we get to activate the phone lines for you to also call in and contribute to the discussion, and then we shall also read your messages to the rest of the world and elicit responses from our guests for you. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. EFIBA is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. This is our report here on Metro TV. Tonight we're taking a look at the Transformative Seatime training program of the Ghana Maritime Authority. With us in the studios, Naval Retired Captain Kamal Dean Ali, PhD. He's the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority. He's helping us unpack this particular new policy that the authority has rolled out. And like I said before we went for the break, the authority has been able to send off successfully some 3 cadets to a global shipping giant, and they are going to be there for some time, and then when they return, they probably have gotten all the experience that they need for the job market globally. He says Ghana is doing barely 5%, in terms of the supply of seafarers, and we are setting faith in Africa. He thinks that we are doing like 5,000, and we are doing way below, and so we should up our game according to him, and so that's what we're discussing tonight. Let's go straight into the messages. And this one says, I know it's almost time, but can Ken ask him what he's doing about also creating job opportunities for the youth with regards to modernizing the lake transport system on the Volta Lake to reduce the traveling time to about 4 hours from Akosombo to the north through the fast-craft transport system. The killings on the road from the north to the south, from the south to the north, are just too many, and it's time they look at it seriously. This one is from Mr. Emmanuel Kujeji. Indeed, Emmanuel Kujeji was my lecturer at the RMU. He's a chief engineer, yes, and when I was doing the master's there, yes. So he's talking about.
Yes. So thank you very much, Mr. Kujeji, and he has said something very significant, and this is just not within the mandate of GMA alone, but let me explain that. I do know that when we have, sometimes we have two type of accidents on in water, especially in our inland water, which we oversee also, Ghana Maritime Authority, as part of our regulatory mandate. And whenever that happens, it's very disastrous, and it catches the country as our imagination and our attention.
Yes.
But somehow there, you can see that he's explaining something that is significant.
Right.
Sea transportation is the most safest.
Yes.
Is the most safest. Yeah. Despite some of the accidents that we have recorded as a country,
yes,
most of them really not from the normal transportation. Certain times it is irregular way of using the boat.
Right.
Otherwise, it's still the most safest.
Yes.
If you look at the road crashes that we have, if you look at the fact that, of course, when it comes to aviation, only an insignificant part of us will do internal aviation travel. Yes. By the end of the day, it is a very good part of our population use the inland waterways, yes, and then it is the safest. So definitely, connecting to many parts of this country, using the inland waterway, especially the Volta catchment, is something that can significantly reduce the transportation time, but also something that gives you a transportation that is very refreshing when you are on board, you know, the ferries.
Absolutely.
Having said that, as an authority, we encourage the Volta Lake Transport Company. That is, if you want, the main operator of ferry transportation in our inland waters. And the Minister of Transport, Honorable Joseph Bukhari, is very much also, you know, looking and supporting the Volta Lake Transport Company in that regard.
Right.
And somehow talking to the agencies as well to see what that can be done. But that is his main focus. Partly also because this is something that will help the 24-hour economy and our country.
Absolutely.
So in that respect, that is where we see it. When it comes to the smaller craft, Ghana Maritime Authority, the smaller craft will not go far.
Yes.
They will perhaps move from Ketakrachi to the neighboring town, which is again a significant journey, something that may be more than here to Nkoko or something. But we are also looking at making that much, much safer.
Absolutely.
We will be launching in the course of the year the safety community project.
Right.
And this is intended, one, to make sure that we have more Ghana Maritime Authority staff and other community staff that we are going to train available to help enforce safety.
Right.
But most importantly also that the communities themselves and the boat operators have taken the culture. One formula example that we are looking at is that we are going to get life jackets, make the life jackets available to the various associations, and the association will make them available for a trip rental.
Right.
Because certain times, the boat cannot buy as many as 100 life jackets. In fact, even if you were to donate them to the boat don't even have a place to keep them. 100, 150. But times they can take passengers as many as 100.
Yes.
So after interacting with them, we realized that it is just not simple about the fact that the life jackets are not available. And also not too much about also simply the price. The price is a lot anyway for them to buy 100. But also the whole system is such a way that we have to find an alternative. So one of the alternatives is to leave them out for rental. Somebody take it for 1 city or 2 city, use it, and then cross the other side, and the association themselves will receive it at the other side for use. And we believe that they can return our money to us that we have spent on the life jacket, maybe within 3 months, 4 months, and then we can use that to add to the conveyor belt and make more and more available in many other places.
Absolutely. Great. Okay, so I've also been told that we can activate the phone lines now, so our viewers can call in. The number to the phone line is right there, going to be showing on the screen pretty shortly, so that you can call in and contribute to the discussion. Now, this one says, good evening. Thank you for the insightful and educational discussion. I would like to ask a question regarding a training vessel that is being discussed. Is there a possibility for the Regional Maritime University and the Ghana Maritime Authority to collaborate in acquiring a training vessel so we build local capacity for our seafarers and cadets? Thank you. This one is from Engineer Nati. Okay, Engineer Nati was my mate when I was doing the master's program at the RMU. So
Yeah, okay.
double engine, you call him double engine.
Okay, double engine. Okay,
Yes,
that was how much his capacity was.
Absolutely,
Double engine,
seriously.
Yeah. Thank you, Engineer Nati, for the question. Yes, so having a training vessel for the Regional Maritime University is the ultimate. It helps, especially what I explained, that some cadets would have come from training institutions where already they have a regional, where they have a training vessel, and they would have had some experience. Of course, as he will also know, it takes quite a lot of resources to own one. So it is something that has been as part of the plan. There was supposed to be a Korean facility some time ago, under which the Regional Maritime University and the government of Ghana was supposed to acquire that. The Minister of Transport has since been restating the whole issue, and I believe that it is something that it is top on his agenda to discuss with his counterpart at the Minister of Finance, because this is a grant. It is not something that is for free. It's a grant, and for that matter, it is something that at the ministerial level they will have to discuss it and to see how we can make that possible. Yes.
Okay, so Maria in Tema, in fact, she sent us a thesis. She says in other countries such as Ethiopia and South Africa, the maritime educational institutions take responsibility for securing training berths for all their qualified cadets, making Seatime an integral part of the educational program. RMU does not have career guidance services, neither does it support cadets to find training berths on their own. The result is that cadets are stranded for as long as 6 years, looking for Seatime after going to school for 4 years and paying $15,000 in fees. As the head of the GMA, how is the regulator ensuring that the RMU, which it regulates, is actually preparing students for and supporting them to secure careers in seafaring to give true meaning to the Go to Sea campaign?
Okay.
Now she continues. I said it's a thesis. As of 2024, Ghana already had mutual recognition agreements with 40 countries, which controls some 75% of global tonnage. Also, Ghana has been on the IMO whitelist for a few decades. In spite of this important groundwork, we still have a problem of limited Seatime berths. Every year, RMU produces over 300 marine and deck cadets. Between Hafnia, that's 16, BSM, 60, and a few others, an estimated 100 cadets find placements each year, leaving 200 or so cadets desperate without Seaime after spending $15K on a maritime education. Can DG tell us how this new program plans to get 200 or so cadets on ships each year?
Maria who?
Yes, Maria, from Tema, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Maria, for the question. This is very insightful. It's good to have colleagues and Ghanaians who are very passionate about the maritime industry. What Maria has actually sent to us shows great knowledge, depth on the subject, but also her interest and passion for getting seafarers the job and the career and the ambition they're looking for.
Absolutely.
So exactly, I think Maria has hit the point that yes, we've been excellent regulators, and then we are taking a step forward to be promoters, to be developers in the industry. Quite a lot is changing or will change in the Ghana Maritime Authority itself.
Right.
For example, we are creating a new unit in the Ghana Maritime Authority that is called the Maritime Sector. The Maritime Sector Development and Innovation Unit.
Right.
So this is a unit that is going to look at maritime sector development and innovation. We
Right.
previously didn't have that.
Sure.
Let me say that in the beginning of Ghana Maritime Authority, it was conceived but never operationalized, and somehow it became defunct.
Right.
That was called the Manpower Planning Department.
Right.
But because it was called the Manpower Planning Unit, it didn't also convey exactly what it meant.
Sure.
So when we met stakeholders earlier this year, industry stakeholders, one of the things they said is, look, we should look for names that tell people what this unit is for.
Right.
So that is why we are seeking board approval now to change the unit, and the board is already in tune with that,
Right.
from a maritime manpower planning and development to maritime sector development and innovation unit.
Right.
This is going to have that ball, that eye, that ball, research, looking what is happening, global trends, where do we find the next blue gate, and what do we do? That is what is going.
Right.
And these are the steps that we are taking. And all the statistics she mentioned are correct. Yeah. And that was why when I took over office, and my team wanted to go for the Sea Go campaign, I said, no, don't go.
Right.
Don't go 2024, 5. Yes. Well, I cannot afford for us to go campaigning that more students should enroll when the conveyor belt is not moving. Absolutely. I want to see the conveyor belt moving. Yeah. And collectively, the board said they want to see the conveyor belt moving before we think about going for the sea campaign. So this is absolutely important. And these are the things that we are now taking in order to open the space. Yes. But that closeness with the industry is extremely important. Sure. For example, she has mentioned Hafnia.
Yes.
But let me mention something before I come to that. So we have also developed, and perhaps in the next 2-3 weeks, we have what we call the school, the Seafarer Career and Orientation, Seafarer Career Orientation and Welfare Workshop.
Right.
So for the first time, we are going to have a welfare workshop where we bring seafarers and discuss many things in the spectrum in their welfare. We are not only discussing things about GMA and them, what we must do to improve them.
Right.
We are also looking at their career ahead and bringing mentors for them to talk to.
Absolutely.
But we are also even looking at their welfare, their finances. What are you going to do with your finances? Look, you are going to be at sea every time, and you are earning salary. And you cannot be at sea. At some point, you have to come back to shore after 10 years.
Yes.
But you are the seafarer who is spending only 2 months or 3 months of your time in Ghana. How do you secure finances? What should be the best way? And we all know how things can be. You can entrust your money in A or B, and everything will go down. And you are always all the time outside. So we are looking at, so we bring banks, bring other people to discuss this. And this is something that a concept note has already been developed. Right. We are looking at it, and then management and board will look at it.
Sure.
But going to the point that she mentioned, yes, we are now having BSM that is doing a wonderful job. And recently, BSM has acquired some new simulators.
Yes.
Our staff have gone to train on the simulators for examination purposes. But we are discussing, although at the very rudimentary stages, with BSM, because currently BSM, the cadets that they want to employ, they pick them and then give them all these opportunities. But we are asking ourselves that in between the period, what can we do with BSM so that those simulators can be made available widely for all the cadets of the Regional Maritime University?
Right.
We have to rethink about it because, of course, these are assets, and the assets will also run down.
Yes.
What will happen? Do we have to pay something per cadet and open a window of 1 month for each cadet to be able to have training?
Right.
When the Minister of Transport, and I had the privilege of being with him and visited Morocco, we also had an interaction where the Moroccan Maritime Academy is prepared to give us 2 to 3 weeks, time every year, to bring. They have fantastic simulators and everything. So whilst we are taking steps to have our own simulators in future, these are some of the opportunities. And she mentioned something that is important. For example, when we reach out to Hafnia, I asked them, and thanks to people like Engineer Augustus Lamte, we asked them the practical question. In the case of ratings, and I'll come to ratings, cadets are as much as important as ratings. And actually, the ratings market is what we need it as much as our cadet to create job opportunities for our young Ghanaians. And ratings training is much shorter. It takes only about it, and that is the point I'm coming. It's much shorter, and you are looking at the level of JSS or SSS, and they can equally get a competitive job globally.
Yes.
But when we interact with Hafnia, for example, we ask them the question, what can we do to make you have preference to a Ghanaian rating as your number one or your number two choice of employment? They have a discussions with us, and they showed us what is necessary.
Right.
But we took the step forward. We said, then it is not enough. Why don't you send your training team, their own internal company training people?
Right.
What is it that they are looking for? So they brought them down. We put together a team of Ghana Maritime Authority and Regional Maritime University, and they had a committee and sat down to rewrite the syllables.
Wow.
And look at the syllable and say that this is what it would take for us to make the Ghanaian rating the number one or the number two that we will employ.
Right.
And because of that, we increased the 6-month training period to 7 months.
Right.
And they've told us all the areas that we want to train on, which we are implementing this starting just this month with the Regional Maritime University.
Great.
Now, Hafnia is looking up to employing our ratings alone in the next 3 years.
Yes.
Almost 800 of our ratings.
Wow.
If we are able to go through this process to get them the kind of job that they want.
Right.
Now, another significant question we ask the industry also is that what makes you, from a business point of view, have challenges with a Ghanaian rating?
Yes.
And they also answered the question. Ratings take a shorter time of training, and they also take a shorter time of being on board.
Yes.
The ratings will take, for them, for their Seatime, a maximum of 2 months, 3 months is enough for them to be ready for employment.
Yes.
So let's say you are a global shipping company. You come and take Ghanaian ratings, and you put them on board your ship. And when you put them on board your ship, you've been able to give them 2-3 months sea training. So within a short time of buying a ticket for them to join a ship at Rotterdam or somewhere,
yes,
within a period of just 2 months, 2.5, they are ready for their certificate of competence.
Right.
Now, the regime we met at the Ghana Maritime Authority is that this rating will have to fly back to Ghana to come and take their certificate of competence, their requisite certificate, and then go back to look for their ship somewhere to join. Now, there are a couple of challenges. Some of the challenges is coming back. A ticket was bought, a ticket for the person to come back, and the person to rejoin. Some of the challenges is visa after the person has come back and will have to rejoin the ship. Because ships keeps moving. And at that point, the ship is somewhere. So after having asked this question, internally we ask ourselves that, must these ratings come back physically to come and take the exams in Ghana?
Right.
Must they? We are talking about ratings.
Sure.
A shipping company like Hafnia, like BSM, have taken the rating, or like Kuwaiti Oil Company have taken the rating. They have taken the rating for 3 months. And they say that Kamaldeen Ali, which is my name, which is an AB, that I am qualified and competent to be a rating on board their ship. Why can't we adjust the system in such a way that we look into their period of assessment and we give them record books anyway, log books anyway, so ensure that they assess them effectively, and then we find another way of bridging the examination and issuing the certificate of competence. And the industry, in this case, Donor Shipping was with us last month, and they said exactly what we are looking out for. This is what we are looking for, because the business uncertainty in dealing with the Ghanaian rating is a lot, and that reduces the incentive.
Right.
So last month, Donor Shipping was here, and they have recruited 78 ratings.
Right.
They are coming back. They are looking at a minimum of 300 ratings by the end of the year.
Wow.
At the end of the year. And we believe that with this kind of flexibility but effectiveness, because technology is changing.
Absolutely.
The person is no longer coming to come and do a practical course back in Ghana. The person is coming to do a written examination. The practical one, he's already got on board the ship. And the engineer, who is very experienced, of about 20 years, 15 years, is saying that this chap is good. So we have to find a way of letting the person take a virtual examination and let the person be able to get the employment that is due the person and don't cause inconvenience to the industry. So these are some of the things, and management and board have accepted them, and implementing them for the authority.
Our time is fast running, and unfortunately, time runs faster when the conversation is getting sweeter. So let's do some Facebook. This one says thousands of Forbes Tyra is watching on Facebook. She says thousands of students doing short courses at the RMU, and when they complete, they are unable to get jobs. I feel I wasted my money, and the amount you spend in getting discharge it's not for the poor. How can we afford that? Then Martin Kwabla says, I am keenly hoping so, especially for those who want cadetship experience. And Hanif, citizen Bobby Umar, also watching on Facebook, says, the venerable DG is taking GMA to greater heights. Well, those were some Facebook comments that have come in. Let's go here. Again, this one says, congratulations to Dr. Kamaldeen Ali on his remarkable first-year performance as Director General, his strategic vision, commitment to strengthening maritime security, and dedication to enhancing the safety of our inland waterways, particularly with the deployment of new rescue assets, are moving Ghana's maritime sector towards excellence. This one is from Issa Isahaku. Thank you very much indeed, Issa, for your message. This one says, please ask Dr. Kamaldeen Ali about the recent piracy issue at Senya Breku, the status and what is being done about the upgrade of our surveillance systems. This one is from Sir Philip. I think it's a very important one if the Maritime Authority is already in the know and is doing something about it.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much. Yes, we woke up to the recent, this is about the second or third type of this incident that has happened where it was directed at our fishermen.
Right.
So it is something that is worrying. It looks to me more like an opportunistic attack where perhaps they were looking for a certain vessel somewhere, which will be the primary attack, the primary target.
Yes.
And perhaps they missed that and they look for the low-hanging fruit or the most vulnerable, and these were the fishermen, which is very worrying.
Yes.
We have what we call the vessel traffic monitoring system, which is able to help us monitor to some extent our maritime space. And the current one that we have was commissioned by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama in 2014, thereabout. And luckily, by the time I came into the office, my predecessors have ordered a new one.
Okay.
We've since been running and taking all the steps to make sure that we roll out the new vessel traffic monitoring system.
Yes.
It is something that is being highly discussed now to see how we are able to do that. It is a much more better technology, at least what I saw on paper and what it is supposed to be. Gives us better view, which we call over the horizon radar and technology, so that we can see further of about 150 to 200 nautical miles. It also comes with cameras that allow us to be able to see within certain areas of our immediate coast. We believe that these are ways and means of enhancing maritime security. But as an authority and as a country, we still need to invest a lot.
Sure.
And it has to be intelligence-driven. Because I always make the same decision that, look, despite all of us being on land, despite all the possibility of capturing an armed robber, we fail to do that on land. So think about the dark seas and see how difficult it is. So you need different layers to be able to achieve that. Absolutely. One such layer is tooling the Ghana Navy. Because when there is expectation of being caught at sea, then the incentive will reduce. If the Navy, for example, has an OPV, an offshore patrol vessel, embarked with 1 or 2 aircraft that can take off, be able to strike down any kind of pirate, they wouldn't do that. But they do know that it may take 3 hours or 4 hours for the Navy to scramble and be able to reach there. Because it's normal.
That's true.
Assuming if police in Accra were those responsible for taking care of an armed robbery in Kumasi, how long will they take to reach Kumasi?
That's true.
Yes. So if the Navy is somewhere and cannot have an aircraft to move or a fast boat complement to move, then there is incentive for the criminal. So different layers of security is what we need in order to achieve a better maritime space in terms of safety and security.
Let me take this last message. It says, please, can you ask if seafarers can be enrolled into paying of social security as part of Ghana Maritime Authority's mandate to secure seafarers' future after sea?
Exactly. So these are some of the things that we're really discussing now. Yes, we are discussing all this now. So when we begin to engage seafarers, we are also looking at this.
Right.
We are looking at social security for seafarers. And maybe even encourage the SNIT. Maybe they may have to develop a targeted form of this thing for seafarers. Because remember that seafarers generally will not, only a few of them will take a career up to 60 years. No, otherwise a good number of them will revert to shore.
Absolutely.
Revert to shore after some time. So you cannot be looking at 60 years, for example. So we have to find an instrument that may fit the seafarer. Also because the seafarer can pay a significantly higher premium also, or is premium for their social security every year. But we also believe that when we begin to care and this, and we are also looking at even a possible tax system for the country. Yes, because if human beings, for example, are amenable to paying tax when they can see value. So we even foresee the possibility of paying tax. There is one thing that in future that all of us may be looking at, which we call a Seafarer Development Fund. That it is not a fund that will have many people contribute to it. In some of the countries that we are talking about, they have it. They have a fund where, for example, the Ghana Maritime Authority will contribute to, where the Ghana Shippers Authority will contribute to, where the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority will contribute. But most importantly, where the seaman themselves contribute. Well, just imagine a seaman contributing $10 or $15 or $50 every month to a fund. This fund can grow. We can be able to have scholarships for seafarers that may not have the $15,000 to spend as a cadet. Is a lot. But the person have the ambition to be, an engineer or a captain. We should be able to have such a fund in future. I'm not saying anything new, anything now, but in future we should be able to have something like that.
Finally, give us your last words. What do we expect to see? How many seafarers are we expecting to enroll in the ensuing years on this Seatime training program of the Ghana Maritime Authority? And what legacy would you want to leave, in terms of maritime sector seafarer employment in our country?
My last word is actually to thank all those we have been working with in pushing this, from minister to board level to staff and everybody who is focused on this. I believe that naturally, the way we are going, that our numbers will increase. I believe that by the end of this year, that we should be able to do collectively, both ratings and officers 500. I believe that in the next year coming, we'll be increasing this by a percentile. And our industry will grow if we continue to pay attention, push the policies, have the right energy, and everything that we are doing. That is what I believe. And this will be among the many legacies that we will leave as part of our leadership, but most importantly, as part of the research and agenda of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who has given us the opportunity to serve for God and country.
The man sure knows his onions. Captain, Naval Captain retired Kamaldeen Ali, PhD, Director General Ghana Maritime Authority, helping us to unpack the, as it were, transformative Seatime training program of the Ghana Maritime Authority, helping to put cadets on vessels, global giants, creating employment opportunities for them, and to ensure that we bridge the gap as far as seafarer employment in our country is concerned. He joined us this evening to discuss this beautiful topic. Thank you so much indeed for obliging us. Even though you are fasting, we are deeply and profoundly grateful. And we know that and when we call and you have the time, you'll always oblige us. Thank you very much indeed. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Most grateful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed, sir. So we'd like to say big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. We entreat you to keep watching the rest of our programs here on Metro TV, and God willing, we entreat you to watch the abridged version of I Am Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television, GTV. God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Pod program. My name is Kennedy Mona. We wish you a blessed and super week ahead, and we say keep on keeping on. We thank you so much. God bless, no less. We're out.